Hi, my name is Mike Laframboise, and I'm going to tell you a story that normally I would not have chosen to experience, but in itself it had amazing conditions. At 4 o'clock in the morning, we got a call from the security company that a smoke detector had gone off, and they were asking us if we wanted them to notify the fire department. We said yes, and we immediately proceeded to the residence. The fire department showed up about 10 minutes later, and as my wife and I watched the fire department put out the fire, I said to her that somehow this was going to work out for our good. She looked at me as though I was nuts, and I told her about Romans 8:28 that says, "For we know all things work for the good of those that love God and are called according to His purpose." And as we watched the fire, I know my wife did not believe me. So after everything was done, we went home, and I told the Lord I was trusting in His Word, but I wanted to know that He was in it. At 11 o'clock that morning, I showed up at the house with a friend of mine, and Dewey McCabe from Southeast Restoration was there. After a few introductions, small conversation, Dewey proceeded to start to look at some of the damage, and I was telling my friend about how I expected Romans 8:28 to work here. Dewey come walking over and he said, "I hear you talking about some scriptures." And he said, "Do you know anything about our company?" I said, "No, I didn't know anything. I just was recommended." So he proceeded to call up the website from Southeast Restoration and show me their operating principle that is based on Colossians 3:23 that says, "Whatever you do, do as unto the Lord and with all your heart, and as not unto men." Well, this was my first knowledge that God was in this thing. So we continued talking, and then Dewey asked me what I did. I said, "Well, I'm retired, and I'm on the board of directors of Valley Rescue Mission, and I'm right now overseeing a project where we're building a homeless shelter for women, and it's right next to our Damascus Way facility." And Dewey stopped and he looked at me and he said, "A very close friend of mine is graduating from Damascus Way Rehab's program next week." Some people call this coincidences. When I come across these happenstances, I call them God's fingerprints, letting me know that He was in this with us. If you were to rely on Romans 8:28 like I did, I believe the Almighty would send companies like Southeast Restoration and Creatively Staged into your life to make all things work for your good. It's not easy, and it's not fun, but you get some insight that you normally wouldn't get otherwise. You can't have a testimony without a test, and my prayer of thanksgiving is for Southeast Restoration and the staff and what they've done for us. All right, my name is Mike Laframboise. Southeast Restoration basically restored the property, and it also restored some of the incidences in my life that we were struggling with.